From the Hampton High School Gymnasium on the campus of Hampton High School, WHCS Channel 29 presents Peninsula District Basketball. The boys team, Hampton Crabbers versus the Phoebus Phantoms. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble, and welcome to Hampton High School for the game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the defending state champion Hampton Crabbers. And Bob, there's a story that's developing that may be a big factor for tonight's ball game.
It sure is. I was over there getting the starting lineup, and I talked to the assistant coach, JV coach David Blizzard, and I said, Gannon Baker is starting, right? And he says, Gannon is not even here. He's got something wrong with his stomach, and he's not sure what the deal is, but he went to the hospital, so we don't know what the deal is. So we'll go right now. We'll go with AG, who's got the Phoebus coach, Jerry Gentry. Go take it, AG.
Bob, we do have Jerry Gentry. Jerry, Crabbers playing without Baker tonight, but still an awesome task for your Phantoms.
No question about it. I'm sure they'll miss Gannon. I know Gannon's going to be sorry he's not here. He loves to play us. But I don't think taking one person away from a team as strong as Hampton is really going to have a great effect on them.
All right, what's the key to beating them?
Well, I told our guys if we can just stay with them until late in the ball game, we might have a chance. We know it'll take a Herculean effort on our guys to do that. But
Great season so far for the Phantoms.
Yeah, we're where we thought we would be. Played Denby well the other night, and I think that game, the first game, we've been able to put 4 good quarters together. We're going to need to do that again tonight.
Good luck tonight. All right, Bob.
Thank you, AG. Well, you get a chance to go over and talk with the Hampton coach. Let me tell you a little bit about this Phoebus team. This Phoebus team, Jim, is an excellent team as far as team speed. They are one of the quickest teams in the district. They got some real good athletes. You will recognize some of the names from the JV, from the football. Let's go right now to AG, who's got the Hampton coach, Walter Brown.
All right, we got Coach Walter Brown. Coach, I know you're concerned about Gannon not playing tonight, but what about the Phantoms? What are you going to do tonight?
Well, we're just going to come out and play real tough defense and try to handle that quickness and, do what we've been doing all year, try to take the ball inside.
Anybody out there on the Phantoms you got to stop tonight?
All of them.
15?
But basically, Andre Morgan, Noble, and Thomas Bailey.
All right, Coach, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Bob.
Thank you very much. We're about to have the introduction of the players, but momentarily here
And now the starting lineups for the game. We'll introduce our guests from Phoebus first. For the Phantoms, number 14, Ivan Harrelson. Number 22, Andre Morgan. Number 32, Tom Bailey.
Tom Bailey, of
Number
course,
40,
from the
Miguel
football team.
Lloyd. And number 50, C.L. Noble. The Phantoms are coached by Mr. Jerry Gentry, assisted by Mr. Aubrey Perry.
I was going to announce the players, but who needs to with the PA system that's
Yeah,
full?
here's a good shot of him. You just saw him on
And
the screen.
now,
That's a great
starting
game.
for the home team, the Hampton Crabbers. Number 10, Pete Baker.
And Pete Baker is starting tonight instead of
Number
Baker.
12, Charmaine Goldstein. Number 34, Glenn Newby. Number 52, Mark Ash. And number 54, Aaron Munday.
And of course, you said it, Tim, that's the defending state championship team out there now. They were once defeated this year so far. They're an excellent team. Good depth. And there you see it, Munday, Golson, Ash, Newby, and Baker. And that should be Baycote, not Baycote, B-A-C-O-T-E. And it's a formidable team.
The colors are presented by the Hampton High School Air Force Junior.
There you see the officials on your screen. To the left is Calvin Thomas. To the right is Calvin Stevenson.
Thomas Stevenson. Yeah,
You got Calvin written twice there.
Well, I just wanted to see if you was watching the screen.
You got me on that
Now,
one.
ladies and gentlemen, your attention, your courtesy, and your honor for our national anthem. to assist the players with your sportsmanship as we observe theirs.
Well, the Hampton Crabbers, as you mentioned, Bob, once defeated, and that was an overtime loss at the hands of the Warwick Raiders 3 games ago. So the Crabbers have rebounded with victories over Denby and Lafayette. And they have a potent offensive machine. There you see the coaches' names: Jerry Gentry for Phoebus, Walter Brower for the Crabbers.
Well, Hampton's got a big inside game, and that's where they're going to try to get the ball, but they're going to miss Mr. Gannon Baker, who has been playing point guard, who is signed to go to Duquesne next year, and they're going to miss him. He's a good outside shooter.
There you see the standings in the order of the teams as they are. Hampton atop the standings, Menchville at the bottom. Hampton is 6-1 in the district, Menchville 0-7, and we'll get back to that in a minute as time permits. Aaron Monday controls the tap for the Crabbers. Inside, Monday's shot is too strong, and a rebound comes off for Clarence Noble.
And Noble's their big man they got inside, and he's going to take it right away to Monday.
And it rolls off. Rebound controlled by Goulson, and it's knocked out of bounds, last touched by the Phantoms.
I believe that's number 34. I believe that was Newby
You're
that
right,
had
it
the
is
ball.
Goulson. You're right.
This is the quick.
This is Goulson here.
You will see a real quick team out here in this Phantoms. When they score, they will go on to a press. And a traveling call.
Traveling call before the shot. So both teams a little tight to start the ball game. Phantoms push it up. That's Ivan Harrelson, double teamed. He gets it over for Noble. Harrelson swings it around for Thomas Bailey. Miguel Lloyd's shot comes out of the bucket. Chased down in the corner by the Crabbers, Glenn Newby. This is Peter Baycott. Monday will shoot. It's no good, but a foul is called. .6:55 remaining, just underway for 8-minute quarters in high school basketball. Aaron Monday at the free throw line with 2 shots. Foul charge to Clarence Noble. That's his first, the team's first. And Monday connects to open the scoring. Get a chance to watch a replay of that foul. Monday is short with the second. This is Harrelson driving on Newby, and a whistle and a foul.
Harrelson had an excellent summer league this year and hurt his knee, and it's really slowed him down. And the coaches on Phoebus said if it wasn't for that brace and as slow as he goes, he would really be awesome. And he is an excellent ball player as it is, but he will challenge you and take you to the basket.
Glenn Newby called for his first personal foul at the free throw line. Ivan Harrelson. And he's no good on the first of 2.
There's a good shot of Harrelson right there. The concentration. Much better shot. You can see a much better release.
So we're tied at 1. Mark Ash from 8, no good. Rebound put up, no good. Ash gets the rebound, spins and puts it in. So Mark Ash gets the first basket of the ball game. And the Crabbers lead 3-1. Just underway from Hampton High School. Andre Morgan to Harrelson. Noble slips, slides, shoots.
Very awkward shot, but it goes in, and that's what counts. But you're right, he slid a lot.
Monday off the glass and good.
A nice power drive by Aaron Monday.
Last touched by the Crabbers, they say. 5-3 Hampton. Phoebus 5-2 in the district, 6-6 overall, while the Crabbers are 6-1 in the district, 9-1 overall. Harrelson, guarded by Newby, pulls up and shoots. It's short. Noble gets the rebound and puts it in.
That's just hustle.
Lance Noble with 4 points, and it's tie at 5. Ball comes back over the court. Good call by the official. That's Tom Stevenson.
Yes, and that was my fault. I was just checking you out. Well, I know Calvin real well, and I just was putting down Calvin for everybody.
5:20 left in the first quarter. Tied at 5. Running one-hander is no good. Newby kicks it out for Baycoat. His shot, no good. And back come the Phantoms. Put it up, a foul. Harrelson drove to the basket. Foul will be charged to Glenn Newby. That'll be his second.
And he will be substituted for right away, I'll bet. Looks like number 22 for Hampton's coming in.
Sean Hamlet will check in for the Crabbers. Newby will come out.
And also number 32, who is young David Blizzard, is in for Mark Ash.
Blizzard comes in the game averaging 9.4 points per ball game. You get a chance to watch the replay of the foul, and you'll see Harrelson fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line with 2 shots. And he hits the first. Harrelson averaging 6.4 points per game. And he misses poorly on this one, so he's 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Ball is batted around and loose, and a scramble for the ball. Harrelson ties up with Aaron Monday.
That's good hustle underneath that basket. Both those young men wanted that ball some kind of bad.
Possession arrow gives the ball on the tie-up to the Phantoms. Nifty behind-the-back pass by the Phoebus team that time. Nice dish to Noble.
Nice dish, you're right.
Baseline jumper off the glass. Blizzard's shot doesn't go. Miguel Lloyd rebounded for Phoebus. Corner.
It's an explosive team, this Phoebus team.
Andre Morgan with the three-pointer, and just like that, 6 straight points by Phoebus. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Harrelson. That'll be his first.
I wasn't sure if he was going to call a foul or a 5-second call. It was very close.
Well, half the fans in attendance thought it was a 5-second call.
Yeah, well, when you officiate, you're going to please about half the people half the time.
Lamont Watts checks in for Phoebus. He'll replace Harrelson. Nice feed underneath. It doesn't go. The rebound is no good, but we've got a whistle and a foul.
And he called it on C.L. Noble.
And they can ill afford him to be in foul trouble. He's got 2 early in the ball game. At the free throw line for the Crabbers, David Blizzard, averaging almost 10 points a game. Might add our statistics, compliments of my good friends at the Daily Press.
You seem to have a little pull down there.
Blizzard misses the first. Terry Armour, a gentleman who writes for the Daily Press, sitting right behind us here. Catch his column Fridays. He has the TV radio column that he puts in there.
Sean Hudson, number 52, he's 6'7". He's a skinny young man, but he has had to replace C.L. Noble. Watch his foul before, and there's the missed shot. And right there, they're just fighting for the ball.
Hampton is going to call a timeout. 4:04 remaining here in the first quarter. And Phoebus has jumped out to a 6-point lead. They were tied at 5. And Phoebus with 6 unanswered points.
They're very explosive. I've watched them play this year a couple times already, and I have seen them come out and look kind of like, you know, we'll play this game maybe. And then all of a sudden it looks like somebody opens up the jets, and all of it, they're just so quick and they can score so fast. And and then of course that three-pointer always excites a crowd. And this is the last score. That was that's the three-pointer.
Tim?
By, the Phoebus playing. Go ahead, AG.
Got Arnie Baker here.
Find out about
Arnie, what about Gannon?
Well, he had some severe stomach cramps about 5 o'clock, and it was really painful, and it was excruciating pain, and so they asked us to take him to the hospital, and he's been there and just got him home. He's been with a urologist, and everything looks like he's going to be all right, but he's not going to be able to play ball. Hopefully by Tuesday he'll be okay.
He'll be back out on the court Tuesday.
We hope so.
All right, how's that for a scoop, Tim?
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Arnie.
And I know the Hampton faithful are sorry to see him out of the lineup. And hopefully it's nothing serious. We certainly wish the best for young Gannon Baker, a fine basketball player for Hampton and a good college prospect for Duquesne, did you say it was?
Yes, he's going. He's already signed and is going. He's committed to go to Duquesne.
Hampton trailing by 6. Moved the ball nicely down the court. Sean Hamlet lost the handle and a traveling call. Pretty much a full house on hand for this game. It's nice to see a full house.
Yes, it really is.
As it should be.
There's some tenacious jumping and rebounding going underneath the basket, both teams.
I was just going to say, it's no place for the faint of heart because it's pretty rough under there.
Yes, it is.
Aaron Monday gets the rebound for the Crabbers. Want to run with the ball, but it doesn't work.
And you see how quick young Thomas Bailey is?
Thomas Bailey, of course, a lot of you football fans will remember Tom Bailey. He came in when Andre Ross was unable to complete the season as the quarterback for the Phoebus Phantoms, and Bailey came in and is the heir apparent.
Yes, and he will be running the Wishbone next year, according to Coach Bill D.
Very fine athlete, and a timeout called as Phoebus was about to lose the ball as they were down to about 4 seconds on the inbounds pass, and they quickly called a timeout to avoid the turnover. Kind of a different start to the ball game. Phoebus, of course, has come out here, and as always, the defending state champion is game for everybody. You're going to go out there, and everybody's always pumped up for Hampton and Phoebus anyway. And then, of course, with Gannon Baker not in the lineup, that's certainly got to hurt at least the flow of the game for the Crabbers at this point.
It really does. It's anytime you're on the top of the heap, everybody's going to take a shot at you. Watch this replay. He steals the ball, was going out of bounds, and he throws it back off of young David Blizzard. Well, Mark Ash is back in.
(11-5), Phoebus leading by 6, and they've got the ball. Full court man-to-man pressure by the Crabbers.
Hampton is forcing their offense way out.
Bailey loses the ball. They've got a man open down court, and the easy layup.
And that's a good job by Aaron Mundy, seeing the free man and breaking the ball out to Newby.
Glenn Newby records his first bucket of the night. Ball knocked loose, and a scramble for the ball, and that should be traveling, and it is. It's
amazing to me that that these young men can maintain this concentration with the pace as fast as it is. But that's why I tell people they need to come out and see these ball games. It's just tremendous entertainment.
Lost out of bounds. The Crabbers throw the ball away. In the ball game now for Phoebus is 52, Sean Hudson, replacing Noble in the lineup at the center spot for the Phantoms. This is Andre Morgan giving to Tom Bailey. Bailey beats his man, drives the basket, and no, they're going to call an offensive foul. Well, are they? He's got.
That was a quick foul. The basket's going to count. Oh, no, they're calling a foul on. They called it on Monday. That's my
official got confused. He put his hand behind his head to indicate an offensive foul.
Watch this move. Thomas Bailey is so fast. And boom, he's gone. And Monday is still moving over there. Nice call. That was a good call.
Walter Brower has a point to make here. The official indicated by placing his hand on the back of his head that it was an offensive foul, but in fact he did not mean to. And being human, officials do sometimes make signals that they didn't mean to do.
Well, I first thought he called an offensive foul but called a basket good, but you can't do it if it's an offensive foul.
Well, the basket counted for Bailey, but he missed the free throw. And it's a 13-7 ball game. Jermaine Goulson with the long legs took 2 strides, and the fans on the Phoebus side thought maybe 3. 13-9, a 4-point Phoebus lead. This time Bailey's attempt to save the ball inbounds goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Crabbers. So Bailey felt the pressure and was going out of bounds and tried to bounce it off of the defender, but it didn't work out that way. Inbounds pass comes to Aaron Monday and a foul immediately. A couple of words exchanged between Monday and Lamont Watts.
Well, Lamont Watts, he's about a foot shorter than Monday and quite a few pounds. I question his sanity.
Certainly not his courage, but
no,
perhaps,
not his courage.
but perhaps his motivation.
Yeah.
Minute 43 remaining here in the first quarter. Get a chance to watch the replay of that last exchange, perhaps. Back to the live action. A shot is put up.
That was the last basket by Goshen.
Well, there you see going over the shoulder. The live action had Jermaine Goulson shooting and missing, but he was fouled. Sean Hudson is called for his first personal. This will be a 2-shot foul for Goulson. And he misses his first attempt. And he misses the second as well. So the Crabbers have only hit 1 free throw in 6 attempts so far. Hudson's shot off the heel of the rim, right into the hands of Aaron Monday.
That was a line drive shot, and Monday was right in his face. Monday did a good job blocking out.
Tarek Cassels goes in the land of the tall trees and comes up with a foul call.
Well, I think the message is tonight, if you drive to the basket and you shoot a layup, you're going to get hammered. I mean, is that the message that you've received?
I've gotten that, but no easy baskets and take no prisoners.
Take no prisoners. This is all out. This is good high school basketball.
Not dirty now, just hard-nosed. Tarek Cassels hits the first of 2.
Well, watch the foul here. He goes up and there's 2 Phantoms that are squeezing him.
Cassels hits both free throws, and it's a 2-point game now. Both teams are over the limit, and for the remainder of the half, will be shooting the bonus. Reggie Parrish in the ball game now, feeds to Andre Morgan. Morgan shovels it up, and a whistle and a foul on Hampton. Cassels will be charged with his first. 2 shots coming for Andre Morgan. Morgan has a 3-pointer here in the first quarter. And he'll get a chance to pad the 2-point Phoebus lead. There you see a good shot of Andre Morgan. Four points now for Morgan. The Phantoms are led by Clarence Noble, who has 6, but Noble is on the bench with 2 personal fouls. James Freeman has come in the ball game for Phoebus. And Andre Morgan is good on both free throws, and it's a 4-point Phoebus lead. 1 minute remaining first quarter. And the tie up underneath. And this time we're going to call a foul rather than a jump ball.
I don't think it's a 1-on-1 yet.
Oh yeah, both teams are over the limit.
Both of them? Oh, I'm sorry, I see. I was looking at the, couldn't see it on this other board.
Reggie Parrish called for his first personal. And no bonus forthcoming for Aaron Monday. Threw up a brick. Phoebus by 4. 3-point attempt, no good. And we've got a whistle and a foul inside. And this one will be charged to Cassels. That'll be his second. Curious to see the replay on that. There you see the brain trust. To the left there is David Blizzard, Walter Brower, and Art Jones for the Crabbers.
And Walter's not too happy right now.
Get a chance to watch the replay here. I'm going to go out on a limb here before the play and say that the 24 for Phoebus was over the back. But let's see if, I don't know if we can even see it in the pitch. See him coming in there?
Well, he actually had the ball before he ever made contact, but you're right, it was he who initiated the contact. But even that shall right itself. There was no points on the free throw.
Belongs to Phoebus, as was last touched by David Blizzard. A lackluster start for the Crabbers here in the first quarter, and Phoebus has out-hustled them, not much like the girls' game that we saw earlier. Air ball thrown up. Freeman can't get the rebound, but Hudson does. Sean Hudson gets an easy basket, and it's a 6-point Phoebus lead. Baycoat dishes to Kobe Perry, who's come in the ball game. Aaron Monday's shot won't go at the buzzer.
And that was a good shot because you had no time left on the clock. Woo, what a fast and furious first half this has been. First quarter, I'm sorry.
Not quite that fast. 17-11 is the way it stands after one period. And the Phoebus Phantoms find themselves on top. See a look at some of the fine crowd here for tonight.
That was a young man that refereed the girls' ball game.
Well, it does look
John
like
Dodero. Yes, it is.
So basketball fan, true and true. He worked the first game and then stuck around to see the boys' game, and I'm sure before the night's over, he's going to see a lot of fireworks.
They're good-looking guys there. Isn't
Yeah,
Look at that one over there with the 29 on his chest.
Get a chance to watch a replay of the last Phoebus score before the break.
And here's that three-point attempt. It was really short. 54 lost the ball.
Gave it to Hudson.
Hudson came up and nice soft touch, put it right in.
So Phoebus starts the second quarter with the ball and a 6-point lead. C.L. Noble back in the ball game, and his shot off the side of the basket.
I think that was a pass.
Back come the Phantoms, man alone all the way down floor is Harrelson. Ivan Harrelson with 4 points.
And he is playing with some pain out there on that knee.
Golson is called for traveling. He is definitely wincing in pain.
Well, and the coaches will pull him out. They'll give him some blows, but he is so determined to play. This is his senior year, and he had a great summer league, as I was telling you. And they hate to see a young man get hurt. C.L. Noble on a nice drive and a kiss off the basket.
8 points for Noble. And he is just a junior. I was looking through your notes here just to see he's going to be a fine-looking prospect for this team. He's played really well, averaging 12.6 on the season.
Well, if the coaches can get him to practice as hard as he plays, he will even be better.
He's still got his growth, too.
Yes, he's going to grow some. He's going to put some weight on. But if he will practice and learn how to practice hard, and you'll find out that his game will move up quite a few steps.
Had 25 points for his best outing against Menchville earlier in the season. David Blizzard has the hat trick. He's 0 for 3 from the free throw line. Noble guarded by the more muscular Monday. Shot put up, no good. And then a foul in the backcourt as a reach-in foul on DJ Ross. Jermaine Goulson will go to the free throw line with the 1-and-1. .636 remaining in the first half.
Watch his last foul, and it's just as silly as a little contact that time, but no call. And a nice pump by Mr. Bailey. And right here, and then he's reached around and we missed the foul.
Free throw attempt is no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Crabbers.
Tell you, the Phoebus Phantoms don't think anything about going on the floor for a ball.
David Blizzard had the ball stripped away and underneath the basket. Tom Stevenson said it was knocked out of bounds.
They are fast. They got the quickest hands of any team I've seen. Lonnie Mann, number 50, is in for the Crabbers. And there's a steal by Noble.
21-11. Crabbers, who average 76 points per game, have just put 11 points on the board. We've played 10 minutes.
Well, now that's smart move. Set it down, settle down, get this runner offense.
Harrelson with the running one-hander and a foul. Walter Brower making additional substitutions to try and get a combination that works in there.
You say you know this young man behind us is Tommy Aaron. Maybe Armour, get a little plug in the paper for us, will you? Here's the shot. And looked like Lonnie Mann caught him with the body. As Aaron Mundy gets ready to come back in.
They've charged Goulson with the foul.
Oh, I thought it was Mann. I must have missed it. You'll see Harrelson get substituted for quite a bit to give him a blow because that knee does bother him. He is playing in some pain.
This is Cassell's guarded double team. And finally stolen. Andre Morgan. Morgan shot is good. Andre Morgan on the follow. He has 7 points.
I tell you, it doesn't look like Hampton can even run their offense there. And that was a foul away from the ball. They got number 20 for Phoebus.
That's Andre Ross.
Andre Ross was holding Jermaine. 1-1.
Wilson averages 14.7 per game. 2 points so far on the evening, and he's 0 for 3 from the free throw line. Now he's 1 for 4. Golson's best game was a 22-point effort against Ferguson in his second game of the season. He had 21 against Manor at the Eustis tournament.
Well, you got all kinds of statistics there at your...
These Daily Press guys keep me well heeled.
Well, everybody, and so you shouldn't give away your secrets. Everybody thinks you just got all that stored in your mind.
They know better than that. Noble shot rims the bucket. Lonnie Mann emphatically rebounds. Travers get it across the timeline. Cassels, and he is tied up.
Lonnie Mann was not going to let anything get out of hand. He went over and picked up, who was that, Baycoat? He just picked him right up off the pile.
Three-point attempt is off the rim, no good. Chased down by Kobe Perry. He kicks it out to Goulson. Lonnie Mann travels.
Yeah, he lost the ball going up. Nobody's going to get the ball for the official.
David Blizzard checks back in for the Crabbers, but he's not going to be allowed to.
Oh, now he said you got to wait till I tell you.
So Simon says, right?
Simon says. Calvin says in this case.
Phoebus has doubled the score on the Crabbers, 24-12, with 4:25 remaining in the first half. Ball is knocked loose, and I'll say it was last touched by the Crabbers.
Had that the ball not been knocked loose, he was wide open for a layup.
Inbounds comes to Clarence Noble. Noble, a 16-footer, is no good. Long rebound chased down by Thomas Bailey. This is Bailey bobbing and weaving. He puts it up, and it's rejected.
Emphatically by young David Blizzard.
Crabbers just can't get into their offense. 2 shots missed by Goulson, and finally the ball goes out of bounds off of a phantom. Blizzard underneath for the easy basket.
Good position on that inbounds, and that's tough play man-to-man, inbounds underneath the basket. A good screen, and you got an open 2-pointer. Little old chippy.
10-point Phoebus lead. Andre Ross, and a whistle, what's the call? A foul for guarding too closely on Kobe Perry, number 14. So Perry on a touch foul. Stepping to the free throw line will be Andre Ross. His first attempt from the charity stripe. And it's no good. The ball comes loose and finally controlled by the Crabbers. Shot badly off the mark, but a steal and a rebound put in by Kobe Perry.
They took that right out of that Phoebus playbook. Steal the ball underneath the basket, get an easy 2. And that's exactly what the Crabbers did.
A 12-point lead cut to 8. And stepping out of bounds on a good effort by Sean Hamlet, but he just tight-roped the sideline there and stepped on the out of bounds.
And if you had a picture of Walter Brower, he was standing up and applauding. That's what you want your kids to do, because one kid will make a break like that, a steal and an easy basket, and it just flows through everybody on the team.
Phoebus almost threw the ball away, but gets it back. It's Andre Morgan. Inside, his pass stolen by Blizzard. Golson spins, dishes, put it up, no good. Followed by Monday is good. So Aaron Monday gets his second basket. He's got 5 points, and it's a 6-point Phoebus lead. Phoebus had led by 12, and 6 straight points by the Crabbers. Noble kicks it out. Andre Morgan thought about the three-pointer. Now he'll shoot from just inside the three-point stripe, and it's short. So the Crabbers now a chance to make it a 4-point game. And the ball is stolen. And it's restolen, and then a trip up, and what's going to be the call? It's going to be what? Ooh, that's a tough call, Bob.
It really was.
I'll tell you why I think it's a tough call, because it looked like he tripped over his leg. I mean, he was standing stationary, and it looked like the Hampton player tripped over him rather than he was tripped.
And that call was made by the official guy in the back court, the furthest way. Official right there didn't call it. That was
it's a tough call. It could have been a no call.
And that's what I thought. It would have been a good no call.
Yeah. At any rate, we'll get a chance to watch it again. Watch here. You see, well, it did kind of stick his leg out there. So,
that's what the replay will show you.
Yeah.
That was a good call by Calvin Thomas.
See, we'll give you credit on that one, Calvin. That was a good call. Initially, in the live play, it looked like he just kind of tripped over him, but it did look like on the replay, he stuck that leg out a little bit.
And said, here, fall over this.
Two free throws from Jermaine Goulson, and we've got a 4-point ball game, 24-20. 8 straight points and a foul as Goulson reached in and just got him with the body. One of those calls that the official almost always will call, because even though he didn't get him with his hand, he got him with the body.
Yeah, that's 2 on him.
Both teams have been over the limit for all of the second quarter. At the free throw line, Harrelson, nothing but net. Harrelson 4 of 6 from the free throw line unofficially. And he misses that one. 5-point lead. Chance for Hampton to cut it down to 3, but they give it away. Harrelson double team in the backcourt. And now it's stolen. Goulson 3-on-1, got a man to his right, man to his left, and a foul.
And that's when he should have stopped at the foul line, dish it over, he would have got the 2 and maybe a foul on top of it.
Foul is charged to Harrelson. That's his second.
And that's when your teammates have got to be talking to you to let you know that they are behind you, that there is a player behind you, or that, hey, you got an option here.
You see the replay. Well, not a flagrant foul, but certainly got him on the arm.
Oh, definitely.
Minute 32 remaining as Goulson's troubles continue at the free throw line. He is 3 out of 7 so far. Check that, 8, 3 out of 8. And he misses both of these. So the free throw shooting by Goulson in the first, in the Hampton Crabbers in general, has hurt them. And there's somebody grabbing on the rim. I didn't see who, but I know someone did.
I believe it was a Phoebus ball player. If we got slow-mo's got that on replay, we'll see there was a lot of people went up, but I believe it was the blue-shirted player that grabbed the rim. And he really had to shoot it high to get it over Monday. Look at the height on that ball.
That ball is way up there. There you see. He looks just kind of got his. Well, that was Freeman that ended up.
Oh, somebody's hanging. He's hanging on to it.
Monday hits the free throw. Could make it a 3-point game here if he connects.
After they were down by 12. And they also get the ball. This could be a 6-point swing. A loss 2 at the other end and a +4 here.
The Crabbers have scored 10-1. Since about 4 minutes to go in the quarter. They've outscored Phoebus 10-1. This is Noble, and Noble loses out of bounds, but let's see, was Calvin Thomas say it was knocked out by a Crabber? (25-22), 1:18 remaining. Hampton got off to a slow start, but they've doubled their output in the last 3 minutes. 13-footer, no good.
Blizzard is doing a yeoman's job on the defensive rebounds tonight.
Crabbers with a chance now to cut it to 1 or tie with a 3-pointer. Knocked away. Monday will get the easy layup. 9 points in the first half for Aaron Monday, and it is a 1-point Phoebus lead. They led 24-12, and they lead now 25-24. Inside, Freeman has it knocked away, and last touch by Phoebus, they say. So the Crabbers now will have a chance to take the lead. They could hold it for the last shot.
It's going to be hard to hold it against this tenacious defense.
Inside, Blizzard.
He has come off the bench and really sparked his Hampton team.
And the Phantoms turn it over. 8 seconds remaining. 26-25, 8 seconds in the half. Monday, I'm not sure the Crabbers know how much time there is left. Down the court, Blizzard is hammered. And a tough fall for Miguel Lloyd, and a good sportsmanship exchange between those two.
Right, Blizzard went over and helped him up, and that was not a wise foul. 1 second.
So Lloyd will be charged with his first. Monday will come out of the ball game. Lonnie Mann will come in for this last 1 second of play. There you see the replay, and he's high in the air on his shoulder. Lloyd could have hurt himself, and fortunately he did not.
And it's a 1-and-1.
Blizzard with an opportunity to extend the Hampton lead, and it rims the bucket no good. And
well, it worked out to be a pretty good foul after all. Make me eat my words, will you?
So the Crabbers, who trailed 17-11 and had scored just 1 point for almost 4 minutes of the second quarter, turn on the scoring in the last half of the second quarter, and they come up from a 24-12 deficit to lead 26-25 here at halftime. We'll return with more action from Hampton High School, but first we're going to go over to A.G. Womble. And A.G., I see you've got a guest from Hampton High School.
Okay, Lowell Thomas, you were down 12 and came back. You're going in halftime up by 1. You have to be pleased.
We have to be pleased, but I think there's no question about the fact that the guys know that if they're in a game tonight, it's been a rough first half for us.
A couple swings there. Of course, Phoebus was hot early. That, the hustling that was going on by the Phantoms was awesome. And then, of course, Monday got it together there late in the first half.
Phoebus came to play, no question about that. I think with
was the fact that we're not going with our regular starting 5. Maybe we're a little upset, but looks like the guys settled down there, and hopefully in the second half we'll maintain the momentum we built right at the end of the first half.
Lowell, this is the first time we've seen the Crabbers this year, but a lot of depth again this year and on that bench.
More than any of us expected, I think, AG. After last year and losing some real good gentlemen to graduation, all of a sudden we've got a lot of good guys that are back here, and Walter can play 8 or 9 boys and play them well.
So there is life after football here at Crabbers now.
It seems like it.
All right, Tim and Bob, back to you. Thanks, Lowell.
Thank you. And of course, that's Lowell Thomas, the principal here at Hampton High School. So we're at halftime, and we'll return with our second half of action. But first, this brief timeout. We'll return in just a minute. Our score at halftime, the Hampton Crabbers rebounding from an extremely slow start to take a 1-point lead at halftime, as they had trailed, and Terry Armour behind us had been keeping a better track of the score than I. They had led, Phoebus did 24-11. So a 15-1 run by the Hampton Crabbers. And you said, Bob, sparked certainly by David Blizzard and his rebounding and the shooting of Blizzard and Goulson and Aaron Monday. Monday did lead the Crabbers in scoring with 9 points in the first half, 3 baskets and 3 free throws. 4 points for David Blizzard, 5 points for Jermaine Goulson, 2 each for Kobe Perry, Tarek Cassels, Glenn Newby, and Mark Ash, who saw limited action. And of course, if you joined us late, you may or may not have heard the word that Gannon Baker, the star point guard for the Crabbers, was taken to the hospital with extreme stomach cramps and has come home from the hospital and apparently will be all right, but he will not play tonight. So the Crabbers have had to go without his leadership tonight, and they had kind of a slow start. They responded as you might have thought they might by playing relatively disorganized in the first half.
Well, this is an experienced team, Tim. They went all the way to the state championship and won it last year, and these young men did not do that because of a fluke. They did it because they are an extremely talented bunch of basketball players, but anytime you take one piece out of your starting lineup and you thought that piece was going to be up in there until the time you dressed out, it's got to affect you, and maybe that was because their slow start. So we got an interesting second half. This has been a game of spurts. Phoebus come out, jumped out real quick, and then Hampton came back. So I'm interested to see how it turns out. It's an excellent game. It's being called fairly. I think both officials are doing a good job. Of course, I could talk to some of the fans. They may not agree, but it's been a good game so far.
For Phoebus, they were paced by Clarence Noble with 4 baskets, 8 points, 7 points for Andre Morgan, including a 3-pointer, 2 free throws, and a bucket. And 6 points for Ivan Harrelson on 4 free throws and 2 points. 2 points from Thomas Bailey and 2 points from Sean Hudson. Hudson had a very key play in the latter stages of the second quarter when he was, for whatever reason, caught holding on to the rim, and a 2-point completed free throw series by Aaron Monday, plus the loss of the ball by Phoebus, and Hampton took it down and scored as well. So it was a big turnaround for the Crabbers there.
Yes, it was.
And Phoebus will get the ball to start the second half, trailing by a point after leading the entire first half, right up until the very end. Clarence Noble, the only Phoebus player other than Ivan Harrelson with 2 fouls. No one else has more. The Crabbers have a couple of players with 2. Goulson, Cassels each have 2.
And Hampton has come out into a 1-3-1 zone.
Baseline jumper is no good. Battled for underneath, and Aaron Monday grabs the rebound.
He is such a wide body underneath that basket.
This is Monday spinning, shooting from 11. It doesn't go, and it's kicked out for the Phantoms. 3-on-2. Dish left side, blocked at a foul. No, what is it going to be? Offensive foul? Yes.
Yeah, we were screened out. I didn't see who that was on.
I believe it was on Andre Morgan, number 22, but I...
Yes, it is. They got number 2 up there. 2 fouls on number 2. But there's a steal.
3-point attempt, no good. Sean Hamlet got the rebound, but had it knocked away and stolen.
No quick hands by the Phoebus Phantoms. You got to protect that ball at all times if you're going to play against this group.
Harrelson, Andre Morgan, 3-pointer for Morgan. That's his second 3-pointer.
Well, they're going to come out in that zone.
Just like
Phoebus
that.
says we're going to shoot from the outside.
Just like that, the Phantoms have regained the lead, and then they steal the ball.
That's 3 steals this half, third quarter already. Another 3-pointer.
Andre Morgan with 2 3-pointers in a row. And he's put his team back on top by 5. So the Crabbers have yet to get out of the starting blocks, and the Phantoms have scored 6 straight points. And we've got a foul on whom?
On number 14, Harrelson, and that was a questionable call. From this vantage point, it did not look like a foul.
Official score indicates that is the 4th personal foul charged to Harrelson.
We only had him by 2 at the half, didn't we?
Yep. But you know, my statistics are less than official at times.
Oh, are they? Yeah, that's because you don't have Jerry Z.
That's right. Noble from 15, off the rim, no good. Rebound for Sean Hamlet. This is Kobe Perry to Hamlet. Dish underneath, nice feed from Aaron Monday to Jermaine Golson. And that's 7 points now for
That's
Golson.
just the high-low offense. Pop it into your man at the top of the key, and he knows whoever the guy underneath is.
12-footer, nothing but net for Andre Morgan, who is red hot to start the second half. He's got 8 points, 2 3-pointers among them. And the scoring starts to pick up for both teams as Goulson starts to find the range. Coming into this game, Goulson was averaging almost 15 points a game. And now he has 9 on the evening.
And Hampton has gone back into a man-to-man.
Monday knocked it loose, and it belongs to the Phantoms. Lamont Watts checks in for the Phantoms.
And that's a young man that scored those 2 3-pointers. Looks like he's hurting a little bit, like he hit his hand or something.
Talking about Andre Morgan?
Yes.
Actually, and he scored 2 in the second. He's got 3 3-pointers for the evening. Watts has it knocked out of bounds by the Crabbers. They'll keep possession. 4:43 remaining. A 3-point Phoebus lead, 33-30. Second half action here. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and A.G. Womble coming to you from Hampton High School. First of our regular season coverage of Peninsula High School sports.
Well, Phoebus is being real deliberate here, which has not been the case, but then they fire it inside and turn it over, so I'm sure that doesn't make Jerry feel real good.
Basket counts. Sean Hamlet went strong to the basket and was fouled, and he'll get a chance at a 3-pointer.
And we're going to have a timeout by Phoebus. Thomas Bailey was upset. He said he was pushed into the ball player, and I don't know that he wasn't, but that gives the Crabbers a chance to tie it up with a 3-point here. They'll have the foul shot.
Bailey will be charged with his first personal foul. I want to remind you that you can watch Hampton highlights daily at 4, 7, and 11 on Channel 29, a program of information and education. Channel 29, your viewing alternate in Hampton. A chance to look at the Phoebus High School cheerleaders. Crowd has been relatively quiet here in the second half.
And the scoring has picked up a little bit, but the action is slowed down a little bit, and that's basically because Hampton came out into that zone and kind of slowed him down a little bit. Watch this last foul, Tim. And all we see is the end of it, where he was bumped by Bailey, but he's claiming that Aaron Mundy gave him a little help.
Hamlet at the free throw line will be shooting to complete the three-point play, and he does, and that ties the game at 33. That was Thomas Bailey's third personal foul, by the way. Four minutes remaining in the third quarter, tied at 33. Noble.
Nice pass inside by Bailey to Noble.
And Noble with the left-hander unties the score. Phoebus by 2. Baseline jumper, no good. Rebound, Aaron Munday inside.
Strong move by Aaron Munday.
So Monday's first basket of the second half gives him 11 for the night, and it reties the score. Air ball thrown up. Noble tries to save it. He does so, but he hands it, in fact, right to the Hampton Crabbers. Underneath, and the easy bucket. David Blizzard. Crabbers regained the lead, 37-35. Inside of 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Noble will fire from 13. It doesn't go, and the board comes off for the Crabbers. David Blizzard, but stolen, and then Blizzard fouls. That'll be Blizzard's first.
And he's doing a good job on the boards. I was real impressed with him that second quarter. But that's a case where he had the ball. He was trying to give it up to one of his ball players, and nobody was there. And Phoebus took it away, and then he ended up making a foul. And here you'll see, does a good job making a strong rebound, but nobody's coming to help him, and the guy just takes the ball away from him. And then we have an air ball, and you'll hear that.
It happens to the best of us.
Yes. Us.
When I don't throw an air ball, they cheer. And Miguel Lloyd does get the second one. 1 point game. Hampton by a single point. 2:35 remaining. Third quarter. All alone underneath. David Blizzard misses the jam. Blizzard had the jam, but missed it.
Nobody seems to be guarding him. He seemed to be right by himself.
Hampton has the ball. Triple teamed in the backcourt, and it works. The Phoebus Phantoms steal it. Then a foul on Goulson.
That looked like it was a pretty clean block as far as the ball. Now, he may have got him with the body, but we have a timeout now being charged. Looked like to Hampton. Yes, Hampton calling the timeout.
Get a chance to watch the replay of that last foul. Well, this is the previous play where Yeah, there you go. That was the triple team. And then you see he did get him with the body.
Yes.
Good
He
call.
got the ball clean, but you got to.
Be sure to stay abreast of the latest news, weather, and sports Monday through Friday at 1, 5, and 9 on Channel 29 with Bev Penn, followed by the community calendar with Jerome Young right here on Channel 29. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Hampton holding on to a 1-point lead. That's the same amount of margin there was at the end of the half, although Hampton found themselves trailing by 13 at one point. And they took a 1-point lead at halftime, and that's where we stand right now, 37-36.
Well, they were down 5 or 6 points at the beginning of this half.
Phoebus came out and scored 6 straight points. You're absolutely right, and then they've battled back to regain the lead. So as you said, it's been a game of leads that have been changing back and forth. Stepping to the free throw line will be Thomas Bailey, who has 2 points. Bailey good on both free throws. And Phoebus now with a 1-point lead, and then a steal.
That's what I'm talking about, that team speed.
Good effort by Bailey to steal it. So
You
Bailey
just don't know where they're going to come from, Tim.
Bailey scores 2 and then steals it. Gives Noble the ball, and he can't get it to roll.
That was a good shot. That's the shot he will shoot.
Sean Hamlet with the board for the Crabbers. This is Hamlet being hounded. Monday looking inside. Wants to get the ball inside. Instead moves in and whips the ball up, and it won't go. Had too much spin on the ball.
That was a good move by Monday. You know, he needs to continue to do that move when that is there.
15-footer doesn't go, and a foul underneath, as with good position was David Blizzard, and Sean Hudson fouled him from behind.
And that's non-shooting foul.
There you see some of the crowd on hand. A good crowd here at Hampton
Great
High.
crowd tonight. This is what you like to see.
Goulson will trigger the inbounds. You get a chance to watch the replay of the foul. What we didn't see was the defense by Phoebus was good enough to cause Hampton to call a timeout to avoid the 5-second turnover.
And you hate, when you're a coach, you hate that to happen, because that may be a timeout you need at the end of the ball game.
1:24 remaining here in the third quarter. Phoebus has regained the lead, 38-37. It's been a game of spurts. Both teams have shared the lead on and off. We need to get some coverage of the Hampton High School cheerleaders. We've had the Phoebus girls and boys on there several times.
Well, it seems like every time that there's a timeout, we get them on there. But every other, they work it every other timeout. The other cheerleaders get on the floor, and we were doing replays and all kinds of things. They're facing the wrong way. Okay, they're facing the wrong way. We'd get their backs. Well, they got pretty nice backs.
We might get in trouble there. We probably want to move on here. And what do we got here? We got a end-line violation. They say that on the inbounds pass, Goulson stepped on the baseline. So the turnover gives the ball to Phoebus. Arching shot, no good. Rebound shot is no good. Freeman with the rebound, no good. Phoebus continues to have the basketball.
Well, that was 3 rebounds they got. Very crucial. They're up by 1.
.48 seconds remaining, and now a traveling call. Andre Ross charged with the turnover.
David Blizzard takes a blow.
Mark Ash comes in the game. He has not seen a lot of action, although he did start the ball game. This is Kobe Perry, and he is fouled in the backcourt by Andre Ross. And that will put Hampton in the bonus situation for the duration of the game. So that could become a factor, as the Crabbers have only been charged with 2 team fouls. Coming in the ball game is DJ Ross, replacing Andre Ross. At the free throw line, Kobe Perry, he has 2 points, and his free throw attempt on the front end is way off. No bonus coming. Phoebus with a 1-point lead, make that a 3-point lead.
He is an amazing athlete.
He being Thomas Bailey, 6 points for Bailey. Tap, nice tap by Jermaine Goulson. That's 11 points on the ball game now for Goulson. Noble goes up strong, and he is fouled.
Mundy was not going to let him get that jam. No way. And the fans over on the Phoebus side wanted goaltending on top of it, but they didn't get it.
Noble with 2 shots. Lonnie Mann will come in the ball game and give Aaron Munday a breather.
Well, with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter, you don't need to pick up a cheap foul. And here you see it. And that ball was definitely hit on the way up. There was no way that could have been goaltending. And if you're Phoebus, you got to say, we got to hit these foul shots. I don't know how many misses they've had, but that really hurts them. Boy, and Hampton too, as far as that goes. They both missed quite a few foul shots tonight. There's a good shot of C.L. Noble.
And he misses both, but the Crabbers lose it out of bounds, as 2 Crabbers were fighting for the ball, and it went off of one of them. So Noble goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line, but the Phantoms get it back. And then they turn it over. 10 seconds remaining, and a 1-point lead for Phoebus. Ash is fouled. DJ Ross will be charged.
Officials are taking control of this game. They're not going to let it get out of hand.
I think the officiating has been superb.
Oh, I do too.
Mark Ash will step to the free throw line. He'll be shooting 1-1. The Crabbers, if they are to capitalize, need to start getting some of these free throws. They don't, but Lonnie Mann with a strong board puts it back up and won't go. And it goes out of bounds, and it belongs to the Crabbers with 2 seconds remaining.
Now that's a tough call. Underneath that basket, who hit that ball last, right?
I don't envy these officials when they have to make those calls. Inbounds pass is stolen and then thrown down the length of the court.
Well, that's one way to make sure they don't shoot it. We got AG is in the stands, and he's got former head coach at Phoebus High School, Bob Killen. AG, take it away.
Okay, Bob, we are up here with Bob Killen. Bob, Phantoms up by 1. Pretty close ball game so far. Your comments on it?
Oh, very close. I'm very impressed with Phoebus. I think one of the quickest backcourts I have seen in many, many years in the district. I think it's going to come down to fourth quarter. The backcourt is going to be the key. If CL can stay out of trouble, it's going to be a good ball game.
Bob, one final question here now. You coached Phoebus there for 5 years. Do you miss it? And when we expect you back out there?
Let me tell you something. I'm happy where I am right now. This is where I belong. I'm happy. There's more excitement up here, and you're able to enjoy it, and you don't have to go back and live with it.
All right, Bob. Thanks a lot. Tim, back to you.
Oh, he got out of that real slick, didn't he? But I know what he means. It's much easier to coach here.
Well, you know, it does wear on you. It's a little known fact, but Bob's only 23. Just kidding. Bob Killen, one of the nice people you meet around in sports.
Yes, he is.
Crabbers have the ball to start the fourth quarter, and they trail by a point. So they lead a seesaw back and forth. And Phoebus leads after 3 quarters. Turnaround jumper is knocked away by Noble. Noble will go for the jam, and he will not get it again. But he is fouled by David Blizzard.
He's got to make the foul shots.
Everything's cool, fellas. That was good, hard-nosed basketball. Nobody's taking any cheap shots. They're just making sure that nobody gets an easy layup.
Right, and you can't grab the kid, because if you do, that's an intentional foul. That's 2 shots, and then you get the ball out of bounds. Here you go. This is a nice steal and a nice feed. But Noble just slowed down enough to let Blizzard catch up with him.
And Blizzard didn't get much of the body.
No, he didn't. That was a good shot.
But he made sure that he didn't get the jam, that's for sure. Noble hits the first free throw. Gives his team a 2-point lead. Phoebus looking to upset the 9-1 Hampton Crabbers. And Noble can't get the second one to roll. $11 points for C.L. Noble on the night.
And he almost came up with the steal that time.
Blizzard from 15 has it blocked again by Noble. Blizzard got it back, and then he was fouled.
You're going to call a foul on Thomas Bailey, I think.
If that's who the foul is on, that will be his 4th.
Well, 32 is who the foul's on, and that's Bailey. They got 2 up there.
That's an old foul up there. they haven't updated it yet.
Oh, that's an old foul.
Yeah, an old foul.
You'll have to tell me the difference between old and new. Yeah, there it is. It's 4 up there now.
Yeah, I told you it was an old foul. That was the total that they had on Blizzard. His like number. Blizzard awkwardly hits the free throw. Almost fell across that line, which would have negated the free throw. Practices without the ball this time. Says, let's see if I can't get this to look prettier, if nothing else. There we go. That's a little bit better, and it goes right through.
Tie game.
8 points for Blizzard, and we're tied at 41. So hold on, folks. This one's going to go down to the wire. 7:23 remaining. Andre Morgan, behind the back dribble to get away from the defender. Nice play by Morgan. Oh, it won't go for him.
He went right up over the top of Aaron Mundy.
Aaron Mundy goes in, and he is hammered this time by Sean Hudson. That'll be 3 on Hudson.
Well, he wasn't going to let Mundy get it either.
It's an unwritten law out there tonight.
Nobody's going to get an uncontested jam or a layup.
But again, I don't want to be too redundant, but I commend the teams for not playing this thing dirty or rough. They're just playing hard-nosed basketball. Nobody's taking any cheap shots at anybody.
There was no cheap shots out here tonight at all. You're correct. And that was the shot. Now here we'll see the jam or attempt, and he didn't get a chance.
And what do we got? We got a lane violation? Yes.
Now he missed the foul shot anyway, so he's 1 of 2, which gives the lead back to the Crabbers.
42-41, 7:05. The Crabbers averaging 76 points a game coming into this game. Phoebus, also a high-scoring team, coming in was averaging 67 points a game.
That ball changed possessions 3 times within about 2 seconds.
Turnaround jumper from Blizzard is good. 10 points for David Blizzard. Noble puts up the left-hander, no good. Blizzard with the rebound. Kicks it out quickly. Goulson, bounce pass. Aaron Mundy, put it in. 14 points for Mundy. And it's a 5-point Hampton lead. Harrelson scores, and no, they're going to call an offensive foul. And Harrelson is hurt.
Well, the ball was definitely out of his hands and into the basket before contact was made. and he called an offensive charge, so I want to see whether the basket's good or not. That's 5 fouls, and I can't believe he's not going to give him the basket. And a 1-and-1 at the other end.
Well, watch the replay here. You'll see Harrelson. He knows right here he's going to go all the way in. He goes up strong.
The ball is out of his hands and off of the board before he ever makes contact. That was not a good call. The basket counts. The fouled Hampton player comes down and shoots a 1-and-1. That's the call. He called an offensive foul, which negated the basket.
We should add that should be the call if the official had seen it the way we saw it, but that's not the way it was called. And we see Harrelson limping off, and we certainly hope that he is able to come back.
Well, we have the advantage of the instant replay for sure, but I called that before I saw it on the instant replay.
Yeah, here you go. Now that's a good call. The ball is out of his hand, and then he makes contact. So technically, the basket should count, but that's not the way it was seen. And that's a boom play. So
yeah.
Thomas called it the way he had to call it at that point. And that would also be Harrelson's 5th personal foul. So not only is he hurt, but he has fouled out of the ball game. Grabbers up by 5 with a little more than 6 minutes to go. Monday is fouled on the pass inside. Noble got him, and that'll be 3 on Clarence Noble.
And that was not a good foul. He was just not playing good defense. He just reached right around. That was not the kind of foul you want if you're a coach.
Monday with an average of 16.7 coming in the ball game. 29 was his high against Warwick on the season. He's got 15 tonight. Monday cranking up. 7-point lead for the Crabbers. Three-point attempt, no good. Lost out of bounds. Ball went off of David Blizzard.
But he had excellent position, and there was a man right behind him. It may have been over his back a bit.
Good quick feed inside for Andre Ross, who puts it in. That's Ross's first basket. And the lead is 5 for the Crabbers. Ross almost steals the ball.
The quickness of this team is just astounding.
Monday with a good quick move, scores.
He was just taking control.
50-43 Hampton, 5 minutes and a few seconds remaining. Andre Ross is unable to hit. And we got a whistle and we got a technical foul.
He called a foul?
And he definitely called a T. I'm not sure about a foul, but he called a T.
We got a timeout. What was the call? Out of bounds or
I think
what?
it was an out of bounds call, I believe. But then a T is James Bailey may have had more to say than Calvin Thomas wanted to hear. Two seconds less than 5 minutes remaining. A 7-point Hampton lead. And I haven't kept score at every juncture of the game, but I would have to think that that 7-point lead was as big a lead as Hampton has had tonight. Jerry Gentry giving his team instructions. They have lost Ivan Harrelson for the remainder of the ball game. He's fouled out.
Looks like Jerry goes to your barber.
Jerry and I have a similar haircut style.
I tell you, I know Jerry's got to be upset. I can't believe I missed the technical. I don't know what the technical was called on, but that hurts because not only you lose the ball, well, you never had the ball, they were giving it up anyway, but now they got a chance for 2 points, and Mr. Mundy is an excellent free throw shooter. And this could give them a 9-point lead with the ball, with the possibility of going into double digits.
That's 8 out of 11 for Monday unofficially on the night from the free throw line, and he had 2 free throws on a technical earlier in the ball game right near the halftime when Hudson was called for hanging on the rim. Strong move by Jermaine Goulson, rather.
Boy,
13
it really
points.
was, wasn't it? Excellent.
And the Crabbers, just like that, are up on top by 11. Baseline jumper is no good. And Blizzard gives to Goulson. Aaron Monday steps around the defender, put it up, it doesn't go, but he was fouled. Certainly can feel the momentum of the ball game swinging ever so positively to the Hampton Crabbers.
But it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and this game is not over, even with 11-point lead. I've seen Phoebus score too many points in a very short period of time, but they've done it off of their defense. Defense is where they've scored their points.
You're absolutely right. Their defense has been superb tonight, and they can come back. So Monday uncharacteristically misses 2 free throws after hitting 8 of 11. Now he's 8 out of 13. Stolen. And Goulson now has 15 points. Right on his average.
And that's defense by the Crabbers that caused that point.
Lance Noble's shot rattles the basket, comes out.
That's not where you want your big man shooting from, 15 feet away from or more away from the key. I guess that was almost a 17, 18 footer. You need him under the basket.
Noble called for the personal foul as he was trying to stop Monday from getting the easy shot and put an elbow in his back to push him off. And that's number 4 on Noble. Monday with the 1-and-1. There you see the time and the score. So Monday has missed 3 in a row from the free throw line. Crabbers by 13. 3-point attempt is good. Thomas Bailey connects. 9 points for Bailey. He steals the ball but hands it right to a Crabber. And then the Crabbers throw it away, right into the hands of head coach Walter Brower.
This Bailey is so quick. He made a 3-pointer, come over and stole the ball. Oh, wow. That went from a 13 to a 10-point lead that quick. And they cut it back to double digits. Game is not over with 3:30 to go.
Well, they can make it an 8-point and 7 with a 3-pointer. Ball thrown away. The officials look at each other and they're not sure what the call should be.
And Tom Stevenson was the back official, and he called it and that's good work by the officials.
Can't see everything all the time. Down to 3 minutes and 13 seconds, and then a reach-in foul will be charged to Goulson. That'll be his 4th. Glenn Newby will come back in the ball game. He'll replace Sean Hamlet for the Crabbers. 56-46, 3:12 remaining. Phoebus continues to hang tough. Crabbers on the floor right now have Kobe Perry at 1 guard and Jermaine Goulson along with Lonnie Mann, Glenn Newby, and David Blizzard. So he's got Monday on the bench right now. Andre Morgan, who's had some key three-pointers, he's had 3 triples tonight.
As Dick Vitale calls them, trifectors.
16 points for Andre Morgan. Averaging a little more than 13 per game. His best game was a 26-point effort against Kecoughtan a couple of weeks ago. Misses the second free throw, but the Phantoms get it and put it in.
3-point play the hard way.
Miguel Lloyd got the bucket, and the Phantoms almost steal it again.
And that Andre Morgan is all hustle out there. These guys are just amazing how fast they are.
And they just don't quit. 7-point game with 3 minutes, plenty of time. Shot doesn't go. Lloyd with the rebound, a chance to make it a 5-point game. Make that 4 if this one goes, it is. Andre Ross from 3, and it's a 4-point game. Bobby Perry slows it down now, kicks it out for Goulson. This game is up for grabs, folks. The Crabbers led by 10, and 6 straight points by the Phantoms have made it a 4-point game. From the baseline, from the jumper, Goulson from the free throw line has 17 points. Back to a 6-point Hampton lead. 2:11 remaining. Both teams over the limit for fouls. Good move to the bucket. The ball won't go, however. And Goulson dribbles out. In the ball game, Peter Bako.
Yeah,
he traveled.
That was a good call. Well, that pivot foot.
So Bako, who has not seen a lot of action, comes in the ball game and commits the turnover. Chance for Phoebus to cut that lead again. They trail by 6. Inside of 1:50 to go. Ball knocked out of bounds by Bako. Well, inbounds right in front of our broadcast position. Tom Bailey. He'll fire from 3. Got it! Bailey with his second consecutive three-pointer make it a 3-point game. And then a foul in the backcourt. Andre Morgan.
Is this the kind of basketball you love or what?
Back and forth. Ebb and flow. The Crabbers get the momentum, then the Phantoms come back, score 6 straight, then the Crabbers retaliate, then the Phantoms come back with a three-pointer. 6 3-point shots completed tonight by the Phantoms.
And this is a 1-and-1 where foul shots become very crucial.
And kicked out of bounds by the Phantoms. So Baycoat missed the front end of the 1-and-1, but the Phantoms kicked it out of bounds. Inbounds is a jump ball. The official says, I can't tell you who touched it, so the possession arrow will give the ball to the Crabbers. Galvin Thomas is a decisive official. I think that's something that is very important.
Yes, it is.
Does not hesitate to make the call. And the Phantoms steal the inbounds pass, trailing by 3. And they're going to say it belongs to the Crabbers.
Thomas Bailey was going up for a three-pointer.
1:14 remaining. Hampton by 3. The ball almost picked off. Bailey anticipated 3-on-1 Crabbers. Crabbers will bring it back out a little bit.
They want to take some time off the clock, I'm sure.
And a whistle and a foul.
But that's not a bad man to foul. He just missed his last free throw attempt. And Lowell Thomas is retrieving the ball down the other end. When you're a Hampton High principal, you do everything. Look at that crowd. Excellent crowd here tonight.
Next weekend, we're going to have Hampton and Ferguson, and then the Bethel and Phoebus games this coming weekend. Maycoat hits a big free throw.
Well, it really does, because now that makes a 2-possession for the Phantoms. With down by 3, you can tie it up with a 3-pointer.
And a whistle, no free throw.
David Blizzard stepped in the line in the lane too soon.
So a 4-point lead with 1:04 remaining. Morgan to Ross. Noble off the glass and good. 13 points for Clarence Noble. A 2-on-1. Put it up. It counts and he's fouled. David Blizzard with the basket and he's fouled.
They were trying to get a traveling call, but there was no traveling call. Nice concentration by young Mr. David Blizzard. And who's the foul on?
That was on Miguel Lloyd, number 40.
He's sort of been in the shadows. You haven't heard much about him, but he's been doing a great job rebounding. I've been watching him. He's not one of the bigger players, but he gets an awful lot of rebounds.
Talk about a big rebound. There's one for you as Goulson gets the rebound, gives to Aaron Monday, and on the way to the hoop, he's fouled. And that might be all for Clarence Noble. Let's see who they call that one on. It's the 5th on Noble, so he'll check out of the ball game with 13 points. 61-57, our score. Phoebus trailing by 4 with 31 seconds remaining. Aaron Monday, there you see Jerry Gentry as he glances over towards Calvin Thomas and the entire scenario. He has, what has he got, about a minute in order to
Yeah, he
find
got a minute to get somebody in.
He has 5 players on the court now. Sean Hudson with 4 personals is in for Noble. Aaron Monday with the free throw. Monday had missed 3 in a row. He connects now when he really needs a big one. 5-point Hampton lead. 31 seconds remaining. There you see Aaron Monday.
Phoebus has got to get 2 3-pointers.
There's an attempt. It's an air ball, however. Saved on the baseline, but it's saved right to the Hampton Crabbers. Monday, his pass knocked out of bounds by Bailey. 16 seconds remaining. Crabbers by 6. And we have a foul with 9 seconds remaining. Well, Bob, it's been a heck of a ball game. Who do you pick as your players of the game?
Well, I've got to go with Aaron Monday. I believe he just took control this second half. I thought David Blizzard did a good job. It's hard to pick out one. Jermaine Golson did a great job also, but I think I'll go with Aaron Monday. On the flip side, you know, I don't know who you go with. I like Morgan, Andre Morgan. It just impressed me. It's a toss-up who you go with.
16 points for Morgan, 3 3-pointers, 13 points for Clarence Noble. He's going to be a real happy addition to this Phoebus team. He's got another year of eligibility after this one. And he's looking real strong right now as Bakecoat hits 2. And it's a 8-point lead, and then we have a foul in the backcourt with 8 seconds remaining. Certainly, Goulson had a good game, 17 points. He had 12 of those 17 here in the second half. 12 points for David Blizzard. All of these totals unofficial. 22 for Aaron Monday. You know that when you lose one of your key players for the evening, like the Crabbers lost Gannon Baker, you have to look to your experienced players to pick up some of the slack.
Oh, absolutely.
And Blizzard's kind of sparked the rally for the Crabbers there in the second quarter when the Crabbers were flat. I don't think Walter Brower would deny for a minute his Crabbers were just not in sync at all. Andre Ross adds to his total. He's got 6 on the night unofficially, including a 3-pointer. At the buzzer, the shot doesn't go for the Phantoms. And the Crabbers hold on to win 65-58. Stay tuned. In just a moment, AG will work his way across the court and get a chance to talk to Walter Brower and a couple of the Crabbers. Of course, some of those possible candidates would include Aaron Monday and Goulson, Blizzard, as they really relied on those 3 young men for almost all of their scoring.
They really did.
Goulson was 17 unofficially, 12 for Blizzard. That's 29 points and 22 more from Monday. So you've got about 51 of your 65 points from 3 players. All right, AG, you see you got the Walter Brower there.
All right. Walter, a little ragged out there tonight, but a win's a win.
Yeah, we'll take it. You know, our floor leader wasn't here. That made a big difference. And then all of the guys were trying to make up, and by trying to do too much, we just played a terrible game. We didn't play well.
Right. Phoebus was scrapping there early. As you know, you did overcome that 12-point deficit. I mean, things got out of hand there early in the game, but you overcome that.
Yeah, well, I'm still disappointed because we didn't execute offensively what we wanted to do, because with our people inside, we got to take the ball inside, and we just weren't in sync.
Monday did seem to come on strong in the second half and kind of dominated under there when you needed him.
Yeah, well, I had to get on him because I told him he had to give a little more, because when Gannon's not here to lead, Monday's got to take over.
Our reports are we're hoping that Gannon will be back Tuesday. That's what we understand.
I hope so, because if you don't have a head out here, you're in trouble.
All right, Walter, good win. We'll see you the rest of the season. Walter Brower. Tim?
All right, AG, thank you. And I think Walter was obviously disappointed, but you said you can't be too displeased when you do win. And give Phoebus some credit. These guys came out and hustled, and you said it several times yourself, they have great quickness.
They're going to end up with one of the top teams in the district this year, and they're going to be reckoned with when it comes down to tournament time, because once you hit tournament time, all you need is one win to propel you into the championship sometimes and get a chance to go on to the regionals. And this Phoebus team, I tell you, their heart is huge. They got a tremendous heart. It's as big as their speed. It's just amazing how quickly I watch a young man shoot a 3-pointer on one side of the court and then come on the other side of the court and steal the ball. I mean, it's just they're constantly playing at heads up, and I know that Jerry Gentry is disappointed with the loss, but the boys played good. They've had some mental lapses out there, but it was a decent game.
Noble ended up with 13 points. I'm impressed with the way he played, and I was impressed with the Phoebus Phantoms in general. I think that they showed some real character out there tonight. The ebb and flow of the game was certainly there, and they got some good performances. 16 points from Andre Morgan, 12 points from Tom Bailey, 13 points from Clarence Noble. So as you said, I agree with you totally. Hampton still the leader in the Peninsula District, but they're going to have a lot to be heard from not just only Phoebus, but Warwick and several others.
AG's got CL Noble. Go ahead, AG.
All right, we got CL Noble. CL, I know you have to be disappointed, but Phoebus came to play tonight.
Yeah, we sure did.
What do you think was the difference down the stretch there?
Defense, the defense.
Okay, what about this Phoebus team? Now they've been playing overachieving all year.
Yes. Everybody think we the underdog, but this time we came out to play.
What about around tournament times? You guys gonna make some noise?
Yep. Sure.
Well, CL, great game, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thanks.
CL Noble.
CL is a man of few words.
Yep. Nope. We're going to come out here to play. Yes, sir.
I like that.
I do too.
Strong, silent type. Okay.
Makes it tough on the interviewer, though, doesn't
Hey,
it?
I got to stop asking those yes/no questions.
Yes, you do. There's a shot of the Fighting Crab, who are victorious here tonight. The boys contest, 65-58.
So the Crabber boys do hold on and win a tough battle. They played without their key man, Gannon Baker, who missed the game with an illness, and hopefully he'll be back for the for the Hampton Crabbers rather, as they continue their quest to repeat as state champions. And of course, Phoebus will be heard from many more times before this season is over with. The final score again from the Hampton High School Gymnasium. Blah, 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 I can't even talk. You can't get these through the mail. You got to have them fitted. The final score, the Hampton Crabbers 65, the Phoebus Phantoms 58. For A.G. Womble and Bob Hintz and Dr. Sam Stills, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.